So as we look further and deeper into what it is that makes a Democrat, we must first look at what is at the root of their ideology. Well, it's communism. They'll never admit it's communism. They'll always try to take the moral high ground while they fight to destroy morals within America. There is no morality left. For a moral person, they have guilt, they have shame for how they present themselves to the world. Today, we don't have that. Why? Because Democrats have made it okay. They've made it okay and acceptable in society, and you must accept this, or, well, they will file charges against you, they will destroy your life, they will take your job. It doesn't matter. You're either going to allow a Democrat to be a communist or they will destroy you. That is very clear here in, well, 2019 now. Where did I come to this conclusion that Democrats are communist? Well, first we have to look at one of their beloved heroes, like Chris Matthews said with Bernie Sanders about his hero was Saul Alinsky. Saul Alinsky's hero was Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a Fabian, was a Satanist, hated Jews. Joseph Stalin hated Jews. Lenin hated Jews. Hitler hated Jews. Mussolini hated Jews. All these communist people hated the Jewish population because it has to do with Satan. So, if we look back at Joseph Stalin, one of his quotes that fits perfectly within this paradigm, America is like a healthy body, and its resistance is threefold. It's patriotism, it's morality, and it's spiritual life. If we can undermine these three areas, America will collapse from within. So, if we look at what have the Democrats over the past 60, 70 years destroyed in America. For that, I'd like to read an article that was written in 2010 about the Democrat Party and their clear lies and deceptions going forth onto the people. It was written very well, and it makes a lot of sense. Well, let's just read it, and I'll show you. The Democrats have liked to promote themselves over the years as the party that has been at the vanguard of promoting such causes as civil rights and human rights. Generally, an impression that has been cultivated that we owe advances to human rights, to liberalism, which is at least since the New Deal has been identified in the U.S. with the Democrat Party. In this year's platform, the Democrats are presenting themselves as opening the way to yet another new frontier in the civil and human rights struggle, as it endorses what it calls marriage equality. That is, it wants same-sex marriage to be the law of the land. This, of course, is in line with the tendency of the Democrat Party for the last generation. As it came to be dominated by an increasingly secular liberalism, vanguard of promoting such minuscule rights as abortion, sodomy, and sexual liberation. This year we continue to see the Democrats embrace a no exception position to abortion. That is, no exceptions to abortion. Liberty should be allowed, including partial birth abortion. And they will tolerate no opposition to it. So the party continues its tradition since the Clinton era of allowing no pro-life dissent within its ranks. It would not permit the late Governor Robert Casey of Pennsylvania to give a speech against abortion at its 1992 convention, and this year, if it refuses to include language in its platform to the effect that it welcomes in its fold Democrats who are pro-life. They won't allow them in. All those claimed civil and human rights are, of course, antithetic to Catholic teaching. The party of the Catholic immigrants who played a crucial role in helping to fashion its majority status for several decades in the 20th century is now a party as seen in one platform after another and in the positions of most of its major office holders. That is officially hostile to uncompromisable moral precepts of the church. If the Democrats are now the party of rights, what was the record of Democrat presidents and the Democrat Party historically on genuine human rights? Should they rightfully be credited with the legacy of upholding and advancing civil and human rights as the party as its apologists want us to believe? I spent a memorable academic year, 2008 and 9, as a visiting fellow at the Witherspoon Institute in Princeton, New Jersey. Witherspoon has an informal association with the James Madison Program in American Ideals. And institutions at Princeton University both are under the tutelage of the eminent Catholic scholar Robert George. One of the Madison Program's guest lectures that year was the presidential scholar Elvin S. Fitzberg of the University of Pennsylvania and George Washington University. You notice a theme here: colleges, universities. It was remarks in his lecture about rating presidents that first got me thinking about this subject. One of the criteria that he thought necessary to consider in evaluating presidents was their effort to preserve and extend liberty. As he talked about different presidents, he observed that the record on this of Democrat presidents, even ones often considered great or near great, was troublesome. His comments and my further reflection about the actions and viewpoints of both Democrat presidents party demonstrates a not so secular historical legacy. First, there was Andrew Jackson, whose presidency marked the beginning of the modern Democrat Party, and was when that name was first used. It had previously been the Democrat-Republican Party. Jackson and his counterpart, or compatriot, and successor, Martin Van Buren, ignoring a Supreme Court decision and for reasons of political interest, forcibly relocated the Cherokees and other Indian tribes from the southeastern U.S. This included the Trail of Tears, where many of the Indians died in the difficult journey westward. Next was the Mexican War, which was persecuted by Democrat James Knox Polk and fiercely objected to by a little-known Whig congressman named Abraham Lincoln, who was later to become the first Republican president. The war was probably undertaken for expansion in the throes of manifest destiny, resulting in the massacres of Mexican citizens in occupied territories, the growth of slavery in the Southwest, and illicit seizures of private land in violation of the Treaty of Guadalupe. As far as slavery was concerned, it was always the Democrat Party that was the major political defender of it. As it was later on of Jim Crow, we sometimes forget that the old segregated South was one-party Democrat until the end of the 1960s, and that the major opponents of federal civil rights laws were the powerful, entrenched Southern Democrats in Congress. Woodrow Wilson, the quasi-essential Democrat progressive, presided over probably the most severe restriction of civil liberties in American history. During the course of World War I, any dissent against American war policy was viciously put down. Then, of course, there was the Japanese internment on the West Coast carried out by the 20th century's most famous Democrat, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. Also refused to support federal anti-lynching legislation which was mostly pushed by Republicans. Finally, we return to the fact that the Democrats have been the party of legal abortion. Not only have they been impressive to the facts that abortion represents an assault on the most basic human and civil right to life, and is a clear example of a denial of rights to a whole group of persons, they have readily supported. This record demonstrates that Pope John Paul II cautioned about what Democrat republics disconnect themselves from truth, that they become thinly disguised totalitarianisms. Perhaps these troublesome actions of early Democrat presidents resulted from pandering to the sentiments of electoral majorities. The current fake rights. To be sure, the Republican Party, although founded to further one of the greatest human rights crusades of modern times, ending slavery, has not been pure. It was not welcoming to the immigrants or supportive of the rights of labor, although the Democrats also overwhelmingly supported the ending of open immigration in 1924, and were no great friends of labor before the New Deal either. One also thinks of episodes such as the violent eviction of the Bonus Army of World War I, veterans from Washington, D.C., under Herbert Hoover, even though the real culprit was probably General Douglas MacArthur, who ignored Hoover's orders to stop his assault, and his aide, Dwight D. Eisenhower's. The late Republican president entities to step back. Still, it has been the Democrats who for 50 years have taunted themselves as the party of the people and of civil rights. We hear time and again that the Republicans and their allies, like the Tea Party, are hostiles to civil rights. The left is quickly to pin the label of hypocrite on their opponents, but doesn't the history of America's leftist political party readily qualify it for this very accusation? So for me, ladies and gentlemen, it's not that of what the Democrats are or how they lie. It's why are they lying? Why are they deceiving this? It's because that is their ideology, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Fabian Society, your Marxism, your Saul Alinsky. This is what you do. You lie and you lie and you lie and you lie. And when you are confronted with your human rights or human atrocities that the Democrat Party always engages in, then you blame the Republicans and you gain more power by blaming the Republicans. So in today's society, when you have the mainstream media controlled by communists and you have the Democrat Party controlled by communists, our universities, our colleges, our high schools, our middle schools, our elementary schools, they're controlled, run, and operated by communists. It's clear. This is what it is. Many don't want to hear this. Many want to think that it is a fight for America and we have to fight for Republicans to undo what Democrats have done. But ladies and gentlemen, if you stop and you look at history, Republicans are no better than Democrats. It's all to seize control of your life and every aspect of your life. They are using your children against you. Your children hate you because the school tells them that their parents are not worthy. Their parents are just ignorant. Their parents are uneducated and ill-informed and being led astray by the radicals of the right wing. When in fact, take a look at these pictures. Take a look at this. Who is doing all of this that I have been showing you here in this video? This is all due to Democrats. Democrats are of Satan's army. They are controlled by what the evil upon this earth does. They have given themselves over to the beast system. They want to control you. They want to kill you if you do not comply with them. The communism that you see throughout history, the mass murders from the government under Mao and Stalin and Lenin and in Cuba and all around, even today in North Korea, if you look at this communist deal, this is the underlying message and ideology of the Democrats. But they will never say it. They will blame you. And now for the rude awakening of one thing. Who has never stopped it? Who has never turned back the clock of what Democrats have created? Republicans. The Republicans have never gotten rid of what Democrats have put in place. Look at today. Donald Trump is fighting tooth and nail to turn back the clock on the eugenics program that Obama put in place. And who helped Obama put that in place? Republicans did. So do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? America is being played for fools because we refuse to see the Republicans as nothing more than the enemy of our liberties and our freedoms, the same as Democrats are. And there's so many today that don't want to hear it. They want their Republican, Democrat pissing contest, and hey, you're the only one being pissed upon. So you have a lot to think about here, ladies and gentlemen, and we really need to pay attention to what is truly going on. And the people that don't want to hear it, then don't waste your time with them. Go find the people that are tired of the right and the left and understand it's a lie and create plans for taking back America with them. And the rest, well, they have to go about their own way. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is No Way Out.